Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Tuesday, the 30th of July, 2024, the year of 1,000,000 transactions per second or more. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best casino and sports betting on chain. Have a little flutter in private using the original protocol. Right, today we are going on with part 3 with Toshi and Tramp. So we're just going to have a little chat about see what's going on. So let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1,000,000 strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
There we go, mate. Are you there? Are we talking? There we go. Are you there, Tramp?
Are you getting me?
We are, mate. We are now recording. How we doing?
Well, you know what I mean. I'm quite happy for you today, really.
Quite happy for me. Why is that?
Well, the fried rice.
What is that going to make me a multi-millionaire?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not champagne time, is it? But what I did see was like a 15-20% increase on your fried rice.
Oh yeah, holy shit! I'm just looking at that compared to Greg Coin. Yeah. It looks like it's gone up quite a bit.
That's what I mean. Like, so obviously it's not break out the red panties, yeah. It's not that, is it? Yeah, as you're saying, you're not going to Dubai, are you?
Not yet.
Still walk past a smoked salmon sort of thing, yeah. However, I don't know. I just noticed the price and I thought, I wonder if Toshi's seen that. Yeah.
I always look at it, but the first thing I do is I always check the price correlation to Bitcoin Cash because there's just loads of trading bots and all, and they just follow each other. So it looks like that's what's happened. And then secondly, I check the profitability because that's being really carefully managed. So unless the profitability changes significantly, then the price movement is completely superfluous. I mean, it literally means nothing, mate. Because
so let's hope it goes back down to 45, yeah?
Really? Well, I hope not.
Make your mind up, brother.
Mate, every little helps. Mate, all I'm saying,
you can't have it down and up.
Mate, I'm just saying the price movement doesn't mean, apart from feeling a little bit richer, that's literally it.
Yeah, let's face it, right? No one cares about Merkle trees today. Right?
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is that if the profitability remains the same, it means the price is likely to come down. So this price movement doesn't actually mean anything.
Well, not unless you sell for dollars and then nick back in when it goes fighting back out again and its Sardon dies.
That's true. There is that.
If you're a trader or whatever, I suppose you could take advantage of that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could do, but I mean, that's the things though. People say it's trading. It's just, mate, it's number up or number down. It's 50-50. It's just gambling all the time.
Yeah. Which is what you advertised at the start of the show, wasn't it, gambling?
Advertised at the start of the show?
That you say,
yeah. But that's if you actually want a little flutter. Whereas like they don't really tell you that when people do like trade analysis, like for example, if you're on the stock market, like the value of a share is meant to be derived from the value of the derivative payment that you get every year. And then if people think that their derivative payment is going to increase due to the expansion of the business, it means the value of this share should go up. But then because people speculate that the price might go up, before their dividend comes in, then you get speculation. You can do genuine trade analysis on that. But on these pieces of shit, on this crypto, there is fucking none. They don't produce a dividend. They do nothing. So it's literally 50-50 casino, red or black. That's literally all it is. Number up or number down.
Well, these people that have got a lot of money, I think they signal one way and go the other way and wipe out a lot of retail traders. Armin's been saying it for years.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the only one who says it, Toshi. I've heard other people say it as well. And you get the poor retail traders that have got the leverage wiped out quickly, their faces off, right?
Yeah.
And then they go the other way a day later, 2 days later. That's when they go the other way where it was supposed to go, So, yeah, it's a bit rigged, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's going to be rigged because the bad guys control Tether and they create Tether from nothing, and they either flood Tether in or flood Tether out. They completely control the market. This is what do you remember the flash crash May 6th, 2010, when there was a $1 trillion wiped off the Dow Jones?
No, I can't say I recall it all the time, but it's there somewhere in my distant memory, mate. Yeah.
Well, it was $1 trillion wiped off them, and literally the market, for a split second, the market went to zero, and all the traders were just like, well, unless there's an asteroid that hits the planet, there can't ever be a time where there's no market. And then they were like, oh, it was a glitch in the software. Absolute bullshit, mate. They ended up sending the figures to a financial, a technical analyst who saw how they'd done it. It was furious selling. They sold billions and billions in order to make trillions. And the SEC, the regulator, covered it up by saying, if you look below the second mark, then it just becomes noise and you can't see anything. And the guy was just like, well, the only way you can see what's going on is by looking at the thousandths of a second mark. Then you can see how fast and furiously they sold these things. So the SEC covered it up. So again, it all comes down to controlling the medium of exchange, which sets market prices. And if you've got somebody in control of that, they can manipulate markets to their own advantage, and that is exactly what they've done with the global economy and what they've done with Gregcoin.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get it off your chest, bruv.
Well, mate, that's why I enjoy chatting with you. Do you know what I mean?
Again, my thoughts are, Toshi, on that. I mean, the social media battle's lost big time, and that's quite a big thing in my opinion, right? And if you've got people that are not bothered about any of the tech at all, which a lot of people aren't, in the same way that they're not bothered about how the pound works or how the dollar works or whatever, a lot of people aren't bothered, right? So in Bitcoin, I'd say probably slightly more bothered, but in general, I don't think people are, mate, that bothered. The information's out there for people, but no one really spends a lot of time digesting it because it's not of keen interest to a lot of people.
Well, also, it's been purposely covered up by the mainstream press, who are just literally full of, deception. That like that show I did yesterday with showed the email between Mike Hearn and Greg Maxwell, and Mike was just like, look, why would anybody waste their time developing on a network that can't scale? Because then you can't make any money from it because you're restricting your own market. Like he said, look, if Bitcoin wasn't meant to scale, he goes, I wouldn't be wasting my time on this thing. If you've got a network that can scale for the entire world to use and more, including all the IoT devices, you can make applications that can profit from that. He was just like, what's the point in even designing a network to start with that only gives you a limited user base? It's all Greg Maxwell's design, where it's just like, oh, well, not meant to use it. You're meant to run everything on a Raspberry Pi, blah, 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 blah. And then Mike Hearn rightly pointed out, he's like, no, Satoshi was talking about live streaming HD videos on the network.
Well, my own experiences as an entrepreneur, we did look at stuff on BTC, and there's nothing you can really do, in our opinion, to fling it around.
Yeah.
Right. The Lightning thing is just a
centrally controlled piece of crap.
It's just over. Well, I mean, it's over-engineered. It's when you look at your coding team's faces when they first glance at it, the answer straight away. It's
not even blocked. It doesn't even run on blockchain, mate. It's an absolute piece of crap.
From I'm just going off an entrepreneur's point of view here, which is mine, right? We when you look at your coding team and you see their faces when you look at that stuff, right, and you see their faces drop, mate, then that's all you need to know, yeah. Because when your coding team are decent as well, right, you never see them react like that until they see something that's terrible to code on and to build on. So as an entrepreneur, Toshi, unfortunately, you can't send it around. I mean, again, we did try Algorand. I think their community will let them down, but it did work when we tried it, okay? I'm not backing it or nothing. It's just as an entrepreneur, we were looking at flinging anything around, where there was profit on it. Yeah, that worked. I'm sure you can understand that. So BSV worked when we flung it around until there was those big tests on it, and then things went walkies. And I've heard others say the same. That Brandon Bryant was complaining about some of that stuff for hand cash. So it can go walkies, Toshi. That's just being honest. Like, it does work 9 out of 10 times using it in entrepreneurship until there's a bit of stress on the thing, and then these knickers do go a little bit, and that's just being honest. But in BTC, there was no angle at all we could find as a team to of the things that we want to do to build on it. Nothing, no angle at all. So then you start to reside to the fact that as an entrepreneur, you think, well, I don't think I'm wanted around it.
Yeah. They don't want anyone to build or use it, mate.
No, so we agree on that, because we looked at it, Toshi. I ain't biased. I'm just an entrepreneur, bruv. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. I ain't biased. If it works, we'll try it. And if there's a community behind it, of course, and it looks good, and everyone looks good in that, and it's looking like they want to throw a bit of money around. As an entrepreneur, you've got to lick your lips and go, I'll have some of that. And we did it on BSV. We tried it for a few years. Unfortunate what's happened at the moment, but I'll have to be honest, Toshi, we've done many transactions on it. Okay? When we went into the real world and we met the boxing community with the same idea, no, none of them wanted to earn it at all. They all wanted PayPal, which is why I was saying the other day, unfortunately, for that sort of side of the business, like, we'd probably look at PayPal first off now, because there's more people that probably want it. And to be fair to Craig did say that at one point. He did say, like, in terms of this level of micro payments, the battle's been lost already. He did comment on it one time, because I remember sort of Ben and I were in agreement, really. So there's other levels of micro payments, isn't there, that people like me aren't interested in, like Smart Ledger and all that. I just personally, as an entrepreneur, find all that stuff a bit boring, if you know what I mean. Nothing against it, Toshi, but I don't want to put a salmon on the blockchain, mate.
What you mean, like, as in, like, supply chain tracking?
Yeah, just like a ledger in that. I mean, I've got nothing against it. I can see why they would want to do it for Gucci jackets or other things, trainers or whatever. But I don't have a personal interest in it. It's not something that I'd wake up every day thinking, do you know what? I can't wait to find out where the salmon have come from.
Yeah, well, not yet. But the thing is, though, you know how this lot are trying to create fake meat and fake fish and everything like that.
I know. Yeah, there's good use cases for it, Toshi. But I'm just saying, as an entrepreneur, it's not something I would sit there with my team and go, right, we're doing this next. We're looking at AI stuff. Yeah, and we're doing AI stuff now because it's a lot more interesting to us. But we can see a lot more potential to make profit in it at the moment. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're doing. And we're enjoying it, but at the same token, we do keep one eye on blockchain, of course. But it's just a bit sad that when we have conversations about it in the team, and I'm meeting Ben tomorrow in Tunbridge Wells. He's coming down. I'm meeting him for the first time tomorrow.
Oh, amazing, mate!
Yeah, I can't wait, mate. We will discuss it, and we were excited about the micropayments at the levels that we were doing them at. That was what was getting us as entrepreneurs, because we were thinking, well, we're amongst the first group of people here to actually fling payments around the internet in this fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what's your opinion on Aerospike using BSV? That looks quite exciting. Do you know what I mean? They need like 300 million transactions per second at a minimum.
Oh, I've not heard anything about it, mate. Why don't you tell the viewers about this Aerostrike?
Yeah, so Aerospike is a sort of back end for an advertising network. So they do all sorts of advertising. It'll be like online marketing and things like that. Where literally you're sending out hundreds of millions of digital advertisements, for want of a better word, really. To a whole host of people that you have on a user base. Things like that, and then they also need to keep track and account for all the transactions that they make. They literally need to account for them, and doing it on a centrally controlled system, which they currently have, means because the amount of data that it consumes, you can't share it Whereas if everything is on the Bitcoin network, you can literally show your clients and you can account for absolutely everything, because the Bitcoin network is open source. So literally anyone and everyone can track and account for all the movements on it. So they're a huge database of customers that need servicing, clients and consumers.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they do come on board, Toshi, fair enough. If they are fully on board and they do start using it on a daily basis, then it won't be hidden; it will be out there.
Well,
But
also
then,
what happens is when you've got that level of transactions on the actual network itself, and bearing in mind they're sort of doing everything at the moment on their own servers, which is extremely costly. Suddenly you can cut all those costs down because you're literally doing everything for the cost of a micro payment. But then that massively increases the block fee, and that's when the miners go, oh shit, we're currently mining on this Greg coin with the ticker symbol BTC, where we're reliant on the block reward that gets cut in half every 4 years. What can how on earth are we going to sustain our mining operations when that gets cut in half again and it gets down to whatever it is, like 1.1 Bitcoin? Whereas if you've got the block fee, like ramping it away because you've got like over 300 million transactions per second going through, then the block fee is just absolutely massive. And that's when the miners, who are the largest bag holders of all these shit coins, because they think they're holding the genuine one, suddenly they just go, oh shit, we need to economically sustain our operations. We can't do this with this piece of fucking crap token that we're using. There's another token over here that's doing 300 million transactions per second from one application, and that's just one. Oh fuck. And that's when they literally come charging over like a herd of wild wildebeest. And they're the largest, they're the largest concentration of bag holders in the world.
well, like I say, if it does happen, then things like that can happen. Yeah, and I do know in the background there are people still trying to sell the services of what the blockchain can do. I've heard a couple of people say one or two are struggling as well. But if they can sell the service of the blockchain and get users like that, Toshi, then everyone will see the transactions. There's no two ways about it.
Well, yeah. There are massive corporations with huge client databases, that need integrity over their data, and now they can get rid of their costly, or overheads using their own private servers. Just put everything on the Bitcoin network.
Yeah, but then we also have to appreciate, there's many other blockchains that are offering these services on a daily basis and getting meetings with these people as well.
Yeah, but the data's not secure, is it?
Well, I'm not debating that, right? I'm not debating that at all. Yeah. I'm just going through the scenario of many people approaching a business with the same concept. Right?
Yeah, but the whole point of Bitcoin is that it's Bitcoin that facilitates this network that doesn't have any central point of control.
Someone's going to explain it to me and the viewers, fair enough, but I'm talking about a situation where you've got a business owner who doesn't care about any of it, who gets approached by someone off a blockchain that promises to revolutionize the way, the old famous words, right?
Yeah, yes.
I'm just talking about Satoshi. We can all hear that you're fully into this and you can explain it. I'm not sort of trying to validate that. Yeah, you get what I'm saying here. I'm just trying to sort of use common sense here in a position of, well, this fella here or this lady here owns a business who don't really care about blockchain because they're not interested. They've got a lot of things on their plate. However, someone catches the ear of, no, we can save you this much money by putting all this information and transactions on the blockchain for you, and promising all the same things, because there's other blockchains out there that do promise the same thing, Toshi, is what I'm saying. So if you do get one in, fair enough, but there's yet to be evidence of it at the moment. There's been a lot of promise, like even in the trial, Craig said something like, we've got 4 governments. I personally don't let things like that slip, because that for me is like a big shout. But I hope the 4 governments don't include Tuvalu, which is sinking. Is that when he says governments, does he mean a country full of people who are governed, or does he mean Tuvalu and George Samuels is having his honeymoon over there or whatever before he sinks? You know what I'm saying, Toshi? So I'm not discrediting what you're saying at all. I just, number one, I wonder how many other blockchains, and I know they do because I've seen them doing it. You see them doing it all the time. Or we've partnered with Tesco's, we've done this, and usually they turn the button on and things go to crap. Yeah. So in principle, a lot of the time these things do work, and then they turn the button on, and then they realise they don't really work. When, in other words, at scale, they don't really work. Right? It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess this is why Craig was actually saying compete with me, because if all you're doing is looking at, you know, blockchain technology, and you're not actually interested in, you know, your data actually being secure, which is more the fundamental side of things. If you just simply want to compete on blockchain technology and which one is more efficient and faster and can scale more, I guess this is why Craig is saying, look, you know, compete with me. So
Yep.
this is why they're bringing Terranode on.
Possibly, yeah. Now the other thing is as well, Tochi, right? There's, you and I both know there's a lot of people out there that don't want the ability or possibility of their money being tracked and traced.
Yep.
At all levels as well, not just on around the corner, not just the geezer around the corner who sells the old biscotti and gelato. Yeah, perhaps a few geezers around the corner from him who's a little bit bigger, who's I don't know, well connected in Europe, let's say, in some of the smaller countries in Europe who now do their activities elsewhere. If you're the one who's sort of pushing for the whole world to be on this ledger that's open to everyone, obviously those types of people will be well against that type of concept, wouldn't they? Basically, you know.
Well, it's things though. It's still private.
Yeah, again, we both know that, but then if need be, things can be found if need be, can't they?
Yeah. I mean, they would. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's old. They'd have to do old school detective work, so it would still require somebody in their, you know, whatever you want to call them, their operations being sloppy. You know, and also if you're moving large sums around and somebody knows that they're related to you and what you do, yeah, and also if you transact with somebody within these three-letter agencies who are also nefarious, that are trying to purposely stitch you up, and you send a transaction to them, then that's on you, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, well, yeah, I agree, but I'm just saying, Toshi, mate, that there's criminals out there that will always be looking to negate anything that may look like it's going to cause them problems. That's why they love
Well,
it. That's why they love
isn't operating through the banks. I mean, because if you're operating through the banks know what you're doing. They can see your account.
Well, look, they're as they we can't just assume they don't hide stuff, because they do, surely, right? Even things that might be public, to you might have to really dig deep to find them, you know, from a bank and all that. But again, they're the sorts of enterprises I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, those enterprises are always going to have that kind of issue, which means they're stuck with either dealing in physical cash or gold or silver or artwork. It's the usual stuff.
Exactly. Anything that where it can go under the radar, I think we can put under that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, imagine if you've got some powerful people that are in that position that like the way things are done right now. Yeah. You know, you're up against them as well. I'm just saying you're up against it here. And I hope you do get your what's the name of that business again, Toshi, that you're saying need the 300,000 a second?
Oh, Aerospike, 300 million, mate.
300 million a second, Aerospike. Yeah, you know, if they do come on board, everyone will see those transactions. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
it's the block fee that they, and also that's only one company. You know, there are millions of
yeah, but
large
you've got
database companies that
yeah,
need
but
the.
of course there is, Toshi. Yeah, but they aren't on board yet.
That's true, but it's the nature of competition, isn't it? Like you said, you want people to compete with you. You want to fight. If you've got a company like Aerospike that suddenly can save themselves hundreds of millions of dollars through using the BSV blockchain, because they can do away with their own inefficient and costly server overheads, suddenly their profits increase and their dividends increase, the share price goes up, and then all the other companies just go, oh fuck, how the hell did they do that? Oh right, we better do the same.
Well, I do agree. I do agree, but again, like the only thing I'd say against that would be a load of other blockchains promising the same thing or developing solutions which offer the same thing and getting in on long-term contracts in the meantime and all this. It's going to be a lot of battle out there for it. But at the same token, if one does go through and it does work on any blockchain, then others will follow suit, especially if, like you say, the profit margins go through the roof based on the savings. It's obvious. Every single business would do it.
Oh, well, here's my thing, mate. So check this out, and again, I'm just speculating. So your opinion is much appreciated on this.
Well, that's great to know, mate.
Yeah. So check this out. Oh, Craig, I would say, is a bit of a wily fox. Like he being Asperger's, mate, he can't help but plot and scheme and plan and everything, mate. It's just in their nature because they think so much. I actually now suspect that Craig purposely designed Bitcoin with a memory pool, knowing that it couldn't scale for global commerce. Like, even if you have an uncapped block size, if you were actually going down the route of using a memory pool, that memory pool that would effectively have to be so big, you would have to have all the world's data in there, within 10 minutes worth of global usage in that memory pool. So even though it scales for something suitable, let's say if you want to deal with Visa or MasterCard, who can do sort of 50,000 transactions per second, that memory pool is still not suitable for global commerce, for everything that is on the internet. So there's a limit there. So I actually think Craig designed Bitcoin with a large scale flaw in it, knowing that all these other dickheads would try and rip it off and copy his design, knowing that they couldn't scale it, and knowing that the memory pool was the limit to it actually scaling for being the next sort of like global internet, which is why they've brought on Terranode and there's no memory pool anymore. What's your thoughts on that?
In other words, you think the sun shines out of Craig's batty hole, yeah?
I'm asking. I think that's what he. Well, there's no memory pool in Terranode because the memory pool was the barrier to its scaling for global commerce.
Whether he planned it all, mate, that's far fetched if you ask me. Yeah, but I know you're obviously a big fan of his. But
you think he did it by accident?
Mate, I personally have no opinion on his design skills at all, really. Yeah. And I'd like to see Terranode working. Is it working? How much does it cost to, is it working? How much does it cost to work in the real world?
Well, I mean, it did over 1 million transactions per second, 2 weeks for 2 weeks consistently without a single fault. That's pretty, well, that's unheard of so far in terms of technical scalability. There's no other network on Earth that's managed that yet.
Well, if that is what happened, fair enough. If that's actually what happens.
Yeah, it is what happened.
But I'd like to see it happening with those transactions coming in from right, left, and centre.
Well, yeah, I mean, every transaction effectively is kind of like an NFT, because it's a non-fungible token transaction, as it were. It's a unique transaction. But they were just simply making those data transfers themselves while testing it. All it is they're just simply somebody else is gonna make them. That's all it is.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when it gets turned on if it works or not, won't we? Yeah. Or we'll see if it spunks its pants and goes walkies. Won't we, Tosh? We'll see, won't we?
Well, but do you not have any opinion on this memory pool debacle? Because I mean, Craig either got unbelievably lucky, or he did it on purpose. So which is it?
Mate, it was probably a fluke if he was going to do it, because after that court case, I'm starting to doubt how much clout he's got. To be honest with you, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Toshi, man. I've got my opinion is, mate. I want to see it all turned on. Whether Craig done it on purpose or not, what you're talking about with between the mempool on the original and this Terranode having no mempool, I have no idea, mate. I've no idea.
We'll have to we'll have to wait and
see. Was it even him? You know, these are questions that people might ask Toshi. Was it even him that designed the original? Right.
Well, if it wasn't him that designed the original, how does he know all these things that it can do, and how does he know that it's the memory pool that can't scale? It's the memory pool that needs to be got rid of, which is what they've done.
What a lot of people might say that aren't BSV supporters, Tosh, what they might say is Judge Mellor has discredited all of that in his little report there.
Judge Mellor hasn't signed anything, mate.
In that report that come out, that was all over social media, and if you look at and what other people would say from other blockchains would probably say to you is, then why has he got "I am a fraud" written all over all of his social media by law? Right, is what they might say. Like, he's actually got "I am a fraud" written on his social media right now, and you can't deny that. Yeah, I am not Satoshi Nakamoto. There was a list of things that they made him put. Obviously.
Yeah, but there wasn't one that said I'm a liar and I'm a fraud.
Well,
let's have a look.
I think there was one that said I am not Satoshi Nakamoto or something like that. I am not the pseudonym, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, well, here we go. Got it. First, that Dr. Wright is not the author of the Bitcoin white paper. Dr. Wright is not the owner of the copyright in the Bitcoin white paper. Dr. Wright is not the person who adopted or operated under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto in the period between 2008 and 2011. Fourth, Dr. Wright is not the person who created the Bitcoin system. Dr. Wright is not the author of the initial version of the Bitcoin software. But then how do you go up against Judge Mellor saying that Craig expended substantial skill and judgment in creating the Bitcoin file format? He said that in 2023.
Well, you have to get involved, mate, and get involved in it. But that's the most recent stuff that's come out. What you're reading there, and people would sort of say that in argument to some of the stuff that you say about Craig. They would, I think, wouldn't they? They would say, well, look at his social media. What does it say on his social media now? Like, you know, and it's all over his CraigWright.net as well, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but it's all his social media accounts as well, and even the new one, you know. So that's what I'm saying, Toshi. Like a lot of people would put that into the mixer and go, well, what about this then?
Well, the things are also, he's saying Dr. Wright. Well, you know, Doctor is a maritime military title, and Wright is his cognomen, whereas his given name is Craig Stephen, you know, by his mum, and he's not referring to Craig Stephen there. He's referring to his legal fiction that he's Dr. Wright.
Well, I'm sure he'd explain earlier on in this thing what he means by the title that he's written it in. Yeah, but it don't look good, bruv. From that angle. So like, you're sort of having him down as this genius who done this thing on purpose with the mempool, when I do think, like, a lot of listeners who don't agree with what you're saying about Dr. Wright would go, well, why has he got I ain't Satoshi Nakamoto on his bloody thing then? You know what I'm saying?
Well, so, he's following he's following supposedly the judge's instructions, but the judge's instructions aren't authorized because the judge hasn't signed it.
Well, okay, but in the same way that he made McCormack and Hodlnaut post something, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, this, that, the other. I think they're just trying to get one back at him now, because that must have been well bad for him to put that, because we know what he's like here. That probably done his head right in, you know, because of his condition and all that, and how he needs people to tell him how smart he is all the time, sort of thing, to operate in life. You know,
but he still seems quite upbeat about it, like, you know, which is why he's like filing this appeal.
Well, if I just spunked about fucking 20 million of your money, would you be upbeat? It's the person who spunk the money you should be downbeat, if anyone. That's what I was trying to say to you last time, in my opinion. But, you know, it's easy to be upbeat when it's someone else's 20 mil that's getting spunked all the time, isn't it?
Well, you think he's funded from Calvin?
I'm not saying that, mate. I'm just saying it would point towards someone's paying for it. And that, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, this is an interesting one. So I actually had somebody reach out to me after our last chat, and he was saying, look, well, he was asking. He goes, can you ask Tramp whether or not Craig proved himself to be Satoshi Nakamoto in the court case? So do you think he did?
He can ask me, yeah. And the answer is, I don't know, mate, because
Well, the second question was, do you think
and
he's Satoshi Nakamoto personally?
I'll try and ask him the first. I'll try and answer the first question first. Yeah, right. During the whole trial, I was listening with some friends as well, but all of us were working at the same time, sort of thing, right? And I was more half asleep with some of it, if I'm honest. Yeah. So all I know is that the bits that stood out for me in answer to your friend's question, it's going to be disappointing for this person because I'm rubbish at stuff like court and stuff, yeah. But what stood out for me was the ninja suit thing, right? The straight face that he said it with, thinking, right, I've done you now. Right, you wait till you bloody hear this, mate. Right? Guess who had a bloody ninja suit when he was a boy, eh? And I'm thinking, mate, are you for real, bruv? Are you for real? You're trying to spunk my 0.22 BSV value in the dustbin. And then when this geezer came out and everyone was going, right, oh, this is the geezer. This is the geezer, Toshi. This is where we win it. This happy-go-lucky muppet comes along and goes, you know what? I used to play with Lego. I did. Yeah. I used to play with Lego. And I'll tell you something. We had a chat once, didn't we? About the ice cream van. And I knew it was him. So that's what stuck out for me as like, this is it. This is the day where we win, right? Yeah. In answer to your friend's thing. Do I think he's Satoshi Nakamoto?
Personally.
I don't care whether he is or not is my first answer.
Yeah, but do you think he is?
I doubt it.
Yeah?
I doubt it. The way things are going at the moment.
You don't think, didn't you label him Craig Oshi Nakamoto?
I could have done one time. I could have done one time without a shadow of a doubt. Listen, yeah, I used to be well inspired by him. When I first come into crypto, I was very inspired by him because he looked like he wanted a fight, basically. He had a big Mars bar on his head, and he talked like he wanted to have a fight. And I thought, oh, that's decent now. I like that. You know, I like the fact that he looks like a bit of a psycho who wants to have a fight, to be quite honest with you. You know, that's why I reckon a good business meeting with Craig would be to put on some gum shields, put on some gloves, and have a ping about while talking about Bitcoin business. I honestly reckon he'd love that. Honestly reckon he would actually love 5 rounds of that. You'd probably get a better business meeting out of him having a ping around like that with someone like Chris Truman as your ref, just making sure, you know. But he would probably do that. But I couldn't see Max Kaiser doing that, for example.
Yeah, nah.
As much as he does shout and try and sort of release a bit of aggression on stage. But so, I don't know, Toshi, man. I mean, I don't know what to think anymore, mate. My faith in him is going. I will admit to you, right? And, you know, for the listeners, don't be too upset with that. But I'm not the only person who's followed him who's feeling like that at all. You know, you said about our friends Rainer a while ago, you know, there's even old school people now that are sort of beginning to ask themselves yes or no. And I've spoken to people privately that you would be shocked to now think he isn't and all this. And people who I've spoken to privately, you thought was behind him, who sort of say, oh, do you know what, I knew quite a long time ago, as if they knew all along, Toshi, right? what all along? You knew all along he wasn't, you're saying to me. And you can't believe the person said it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not giving it a big one. I'm not that bothered, right? I keep trying to explain, Toshi, starting businesses is what I like doing. That's where I'm always fishing in this area. Right, that's where I'm always getting excited. There's no excitement anymore, but that's where I'm always looking. Is there a business opportunity somewhere? Who's Satoshi Nakamoto? Who's not? I think it's a shame that this 15 years been spent wasting time on stuff like that as an entrepreneur. However, I know why. I can see why it's important to people. Do I think it's Craig Wright? My faith is very, very much disappeared on that, especially with what he said in that court case and what Judge Mann has said about him since. Yeah, there can be a dramatic change because if he did turn around and have the keys or give undeniable proof or whatever that wasn't cryptic for people that were interested in this situation, where it puts them to sleep, and it was very clear cut, then everybody would be in a situation where they would be finding it difficult to deny it. But when it comes to stuff like that, I stomped on the hard drive, keys got lost. There was a geezer outside my house who stole the keys, even though I'm a cybersecurity expert. Aga Hansen turned up at our offices dressed in black with a balaclava, leather gloves on, with James Bond music playing, and done us all. And then, it looked really bad. And then there was that mock trial where Aga Hansen was dressed as a judge. Are you kidding me? Right? So I lost a lot of faith in them, Toshi. I'm sorry, but all that stuff for me was weird, man.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Can I ask you the same question back and be polite, Toshi? The same two questions what you've just asked me, which was, do you think of what you saw in the court case, you thought he proved it, and also do you personally think he is? I know roughly what I think the answer is going to be, but I'd like to hear it, please.
Personally, I think he did enough. Well, I mean, there was the quotes here, independent expert witnesses were all absolutely torn to pieces. He did Craig's solicitors, stand up and object, which is what they should have done whenever it seemed like the opposing counsel were putting forward allegations of forgery or fraud, because there were none. So they should have been standing up saying, look, objection, objection, objection. Did they do that? No, they didn't. Was Craig allowed to prove himself when he said, because Jonathan Hoff said to him, do you have proof that you can prove you're Satoshi Nakamoto? And Craig said, not cryptographic proof. So in other words, they did have proof, and then he's just like, right, okay, let's wrap up the session. So it's just like, well, hold on a minute. Craig has just sat there saying that he can prove he's Satoshi Nakamoto through means that are non-cryptographic, and you've just shut the case down. Well, let's see it. We all wanted to see it. So, but was there bombshell evidence that proved it, that literally categorically proved it? No, there wasn't. But do I think he's Satoshi Nakamoto? Yeah, beyond a reasonable doubt. Listening to Gavin Andresen, and when you look at what the technology can do, and just going off the basic fundamentals of the fact that it's the only way you can commoditize data, and no other dickhead has picked up on it. Craig is the only one. Even people in BSV and CoinGeek don't understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin, and it's almost like Craig doesn't. Well, it's almost like Craig can't explain it because of his condition. But he is absolutely Satoshi Nakamoto, in my personal opinion. Yeah, way beyond a reasonable doubt.
Fair play, man. You're not the only person I've heard say that. There's other people who still say that. Fair enough to you. You've got your strong reasons for it.
Well, also Calvin is a billionaire. He's no mug. He would have spent easily, probably at least $1 million or more than that, investigating Craig through and through before he set up CoinGeek and this media empire that he's got, that he's spunk loads of money on. There is no way he would have gone to all that effort if his thorough investigations hadn't proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Craig was indeed Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. And
I think media empire is a bit strong, Toshi. Yeah, I mean,
mate, I'm telling you, I was working for them for a little bit. You would not believe how big that media machine is behind it. Honestly, mate, the amount of shit they produce is bollocks. Mate, honestly, if you peer beyond the curtain and you saw how big CoinGeek was, you'd be like, hold on a minute. You're this big, and all I see is a few YouTube videos. Like, what the fuck? Honestly, mate, it is massive behind the scenes. So,
well, when I'm talking about the size of the media, okay, I'm talking about its reach on social media. Obviously, that's what I would personally measure it by, how prevalent they are on the internet and things like that, right? You obviously had a behind the scenes look, fair play, and you've just let everyone know it's massive, and that's going to be shocking for a lot of people, because it
was shocking for me.
Doesn't, you know what I'm saying? The media that doesn't come out of it, Toshi, I wouldn't say backs that up.
Mate, totally. I'm absolutely agree with you on that one. I literally couldn't believe what I was seeing. The amount of resources that company has got behind it is absolutely massive. And then when you look at the content that they produce, mate, it's absolutely shite.
Garbage.
Yeah, literally.
They've got no sense of humour. It's unengaging. It's boring. It puts you to sleep. You know, there's no Marianne Jets about the place. And it's one-dimensional. No one smiles. It's like you're not allowed to smile. Don't if you smile, you're out of here. Don't come back.
Yeah.
If you've got a personality, then I'm sorry, we can't offer you a contract. You've got to speak in a monotone, and you've got to speak as if you're speaking in your work voice, and it's 1997.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. You're right. Yeah, I mean,
On the contract, you know. I mean, love or hate yourself. Like, you know, I was chatting to someone this morning. I don't want to speak of who because he keeps his low key. He likes you, Toshi.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
yeah, he does. He likes your verve and that. He likes your spirit and that. You know, and he says the same about me as well. You know, which is nice as well. You know, because he says finds the pair of us quite an entertaining sort of conversation. Yeah,
Mate, I had quite a few people say that. You know, I'm guessing this is going out to a different type of audience because obviously, you know, my news reports are kind of like. Well, I try and keep them professional and matter of fact.
no, you know, but I've heard people say some positive things about it as well, Toshi. But my point was going to be that the common denominator is a bit of engaging entertainment if you can.
Yeah, I agree absolutely. Yeah.
A tone in the voice, or you know, a bit of a nice little two-way chat or whatever, or you know, that's why I find it. You know, when some of you guys block them off, for me, that's a shame.
How do you mean block them off like what?
When you block off BTC people.
Yeah, but it's only because they don't want to hear what I've got to say. So it's just like, oh look, I'll save you the trouble.
I think it's like, you know, this. I think I've seen one or two of you go on the attack and that. I think the way to do it is just engage. Like, I could.
Mate, it's a complete waste of time.
Chat with
Mate,
them.
honestly, it is a complete. I've already tried it, mate. Why do you think I block them?
Well, no, you'll just. I can imagine you just.
What, I'm going to convert them?
No, not at all, not at all. But what I'm asking for, Toshi, yeah, is a civil conversation between adults who can have a bit of banter. For example, a Tottenham fan and an Arsenal fan that are mates, right? That would be useful for everybody. It's just as a nice chat, and it would probably be engaging and entertaining because you'd be thinking, okay, there could be potential fireworks here, and as long as they're both people are going to, you know, like when I was saying stuff about BTC the other day about their social media, you took it on the chin, mate. I think a lot of people would have found that interesting because even BSV people might be asking, well, blimey, they're growing on social media. What are we going to do about that? Or how does that affect us? You know? So going back to the blocking thing, I'm not saying you, Toshi, you can do whatever you like, man. You know, that's how I am, isn't it? But I was thinking for CoinGeek, instead of like sending Kurt Weickert Jr. to their events to wind them up, if they'd have actually sort of been a bit more respectful from both sides, there could have been good chit chats that a lot of people could have been engaged with from whatever side of the coin or fence you sit on. And then I think what happens after that is that eventually things that make sense to people make sense to people, you know, 6, 7, 8 shows down the line, and people start making their own mind up. But I think it starts with the people actually being civil to one another and having a chit chat. Because you know what, Toshi, yeah, I hate to admit it, but the store of value narrative on social media is massive.
Well yeah.
As an entrepreneur, obviously, as an entrepreneur, that's weirds you out, yeah. But emotionally removing myself from that whatsoever and looking at the narrative out there on social media of number up, it's massive. You've got Saylor and Kaiser and all people like that shouting it on stages, and whether you like it or not, whether they're right or wrong, their actual reach and pull, like Michael Saylor, 10,000 likes on a tweet is like a normal fart for him now these days.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, this is the issue with BTC is like, you know, it says I mean, literally the first line underneath the title of Bitcoin, it says Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And it's like they won't even acknowledge that. Oh,
no, you're right, Toshi. I'm sorry to interrupt you rudely there, but I'll tell you why. Because imagine you've got two pictures in front of you. On the left-hand side, you've got a bit of paper that says peer-to-peer electronic cash system, yeah, which is already going to squint a lot of people's eyes anyway. On the right, you've got some picture of a dickhead in a Lamborghini in a shantytown.
Yeah, right? But what I'm saying is that the only reason that's happened is through sheer fraud. They're pumping that shit with Tether, which is another fucking...
And again, reasons being is another discussion. And I am, you know, they claimed at the Bitcoin thing the other day that Tether is backed 1-to-1. They said it. again.
Who said that?
Satoshi, right?
Who said that? That's
I saw it on
hilarious.
the Bitcoin conference, the massive Bitcoin Nashville thing.
Oh my god.
You know, Hop Tour was there, wasn't she?
Who's that? Hop
Oh, you
Tour.
see everyone, yeah. You see these BSV people, they don't know about internet culture, like your boy Nicky New,
Hey,
do they?
mate. That's
Right?
why. That's why I have you on my show, mate.
They
Tell us all.
don't know the Mr. Beast. They don't know the ISO speeds of the world. They don't know the Jake Pauls. They might know the Jake Pauls probably. They probably do know
Mate,
the Jake
wasn't he meant
Pauls.
to have a fight with Mike Tyson?
He was supposed to, yeah, he was supposed to, but it's people weren't happy about it because of Tyson's age and all that. So, oh,
What?
don't get me into that, mate, because that'll be another hour.
Mate, I
Don't do
know,
it.
mate. I was looking forward to that. That would have been a cracking matchup.
Would have been a good one, wouldn't it?
Mate, have you seen Tyson even at his age now training? Mate, he's a
Yeah,
beast.
yeah,
Phew.
yeah.
Mate,
Yeah.
my money would still be on Tyson, mate. Even though, did you see Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva?
I did, and I saw his most recent fight as well. He's looking better and better.
Yeah, I mean it's impressive. I mean that's why I would really like to see him versus Tyson. But I do think Tyson would knock his head off.
Well, Ego Toshi, right? You know what, Chris Truman from BSV.
Yeah.
He trains hard, mate. I watch all of his training. He trains hard, right? I'd say definitely trains harder than me, without a shadow of doubt. We've been trying to get him a fight for ages, man.
Yeah.
And he wants to fight anyone like in crypto, basically.
Mate, Kurt Whitaker's offered anybody in crypto an MMA fight.
This will be boxing. He won't do boxing, Kurt. And the chances of Kurt Walker Jr.
Yeah, but I'm saying we've got Chris doing boxing. Kurt's offered anybody in crypto, MMA.
Yeah, okay.
I'd back Kurt.
Yeah. Well, there was a guy called BitBoy for BTC. He's a bit of a legend in BTC. He's quite a sound bloke.
As in BitBoy Crypto?
I think that might be him. Yeah, he's like an older fellow. He's
Ben.
got greyish hair.
Yeah.
And he's a nut job, mate.
Ben Young, I think his name is.
That could be him, yes. He's a nut job, mate. He's had a few fights now.
Yeah?
Mate, he's had a few fights. Look at his fights, mate. He's a nut job, bruv.
Mate, you have to send me a link because he looks fat and overweight as fuck, mate.
Mate, that's why you can never judge a book by its cover,
Yeah,
because he's got game about him. He's definitely got game. Like even McCormack was saying, I wouldn't fight him, and I was thinking I wouldn't fight him. No way, I wouldn't fight him. Yeah, I mean it'd be heavier than me anyway. But I'm wondering if Chris Truman would give away an advantage like that to having been a professional a few years ago, to give away the weight advantage to someone who's a relative novice who has got heart and game and has won a couple of his fights by stoppage as well.
Do you remember that fat bloke who was in MMA called Roy Nelson?
Yeah.
Mate, he was hilarious.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, who was he fighting? There was a guy from Brazil who was the MMA world or UFC world champion.
Vanderlei Silva.
I can't remember. Something like that. And when he was fighting him in the Ultimate Fighter, he kept literally trying to kick and punch his Roy Nelson's belly because it was what was sticking out the most. It was hilarious.
Mate, that's these things that I think they're crypto fighting things are getting quite big, and even that for the brand, like it was I think Joe Rogan was at one of them, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like Joe Rogan was on the mic at one of them.
No way.
It's pretty big now, and it's all sponsored by BTC and all that. Toshi, this is what I mean. So I'm not suggesting for 1 minute you do unblocking this and do that. No, but I'm just saying where I have unblocked it all and just been, I'm not bothered. I get on with them. If I'm honest, I just see them as people that are into crypto now because I'm not really doing business in it and I'm not massively invested. I just think, I used to be quite funny him. I'll just follow him now and have a chat with him and that's it.
Well, they can still follow me. They can just make an alternative profile on Twitter and follow me on YouTube. I mean,
no, I don't think mate, you ain't that big. Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No, nobody should be getting upset that I blocked him.
Well, no,
who
but
cares?
I'm just saying, of course, no one cares. But I'm just saying, for social media engagement, if you wanted to sort of obviously bypass the likes of CoinGeek and start getting mass numbers like we spoke about on the first show, that for me would be the beginning of it, obviously.
Well, mate, I would do it if I was on a show with you. Do you know what I mean? You can bat them off, but it's just I'm not going out there on my own. No way.
Mate, you don't need my help, mate. I mean,
mate, it's vicious out there. There is no effing way I'm going out on my... Mate, that's why the show that we were doing got so big, because there were 3 of us, mate.
Mate, you don't need three of you. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, you don't. You just need two people to have a civil
Well,
chat.
that's what I'm saying. But I am not going out on my own. Fuck
Oh,
that.
shit, come on, don't be silly, bruv.
No way.
Hey,
No way, mate. I'm not going out on my own. Fucking going out
mate,
into the
you
fucking
like that
wilderness and all
experience though
that.
as a boxer going out on your own, right? Yeah, walking down the thing, down the aisle, yeah, gently trotting along towards the ring, yeah. Your freaking pupils getting big, bruv. Yeah, you know what I mean, mate. Go out there on your own. It's not even a fight anyway. It's well, it's up to you, man. I'm not, that's. Pardon me, I shouldn't sort of say, but I'm just saying for engagement and numbers.
Well, mate, if
I
you
believe
wanna
that
if you
makes a
wanna
good
come on
show.
the show and make this a regular segment, we can set up some kind of news desk or whatever, make it fun.
The thing is, I'm not that bothered about Bitcoin anymore, Toshi. Yeah, I just keep one eye on it now. You know,
Yeah, but I
there's
mean,
other.
I'm not. I'm just saying, do it for a bit of fun. We've got nothing to lose.
But I think getting a Scotty Morgan on, or getting a um, I don't know if that Zara Larue would come on, because that could be a bloke or anyone. It could be anyone. Yeah.
Well, mate, if you find
But
them, let's bring it on the three of us, me, you, and whoever, whatever the the guest is that you bring
it's
on.
your show, bruv. Yeah, I'm saying like it's your show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be doing this sporadically, right? This should be like a one-off. I saw the price go up. I thought, you know what? Let's see what Toshi's saying about that sort of thing. You know what I mean? But I just think someone that should do a show where people who disagree on cryptocurrency could talk it out a little bit. I mean, the only problem you got there as well is that a lot of the Americans, they do yap on a lot as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I mean, it hurts my head speaking to
Yeah,
people who just haven't got a clue, mate. On like, there was a guy the other day, quite a big name, in crypto and whatever, and one of the chaps said to me, "Oh, look, there's maybe have a word with this guy," because he was going on about how BTC had been corrupted and crippled, and they were just like, "Look, just go and explain how you do it." So I thought, all right, I'll send him a little DM. He did get back to me, and this guy had like over 100,000 followers. So I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And I said, "Look, do you want me to explain to you how to commoditize data?" So I explained to him a little bit, and he goes, "Thanks, but I don't really care." I was just like, this has been a complete waste of time. Like, just F
but that's
off.
because people don't care, though. That's because people don't care, because your approach is wrong. Yeah, in my opinion, like a lot of people would find that patronising, like you're trying to school them whether you're right or wrong.
We could have just said no.
Yeah, but you
I'm
could
not
approach him.
offended.
Yeah, but if you could have approached him differently,
Well,
right?
maybe mate. That's why I need someone like you on the show to add that a
You
little
could have
bit
done
of
you
variety.
see, if you were sneaky, what you could have done there is made friends with him, invited him on your show to discuss whatever his concerns were, and then during that show, dropped a bomb and gone, by the way, do you want me to explain this to you? Actually, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to answer that question. I'm going to put you on mute and you're going to listen, sunshine. Do you understand me? Right. Sit down now and listen up, and then do what you got to do, mate. You see, that would be box office. Yeah. If I was on Twitter and I was, it's Satoshi pissing around again. And, oh shit, he's got some engagement on this one. What's going on? He's got 100 likes. What's that? What's he said? And you were saying that, I'd be like, mate, this is box office. Yeah. I would, and imagine you edit that with dramatic music and that, mate. I'm just saying, mate, that's a bit naughty. I wouldn't have done if I go to that lengths, but that would be entertaining. I think a lot of people might agree. And I also think approaching them in a gentlemanly fashion could also work, and just saying, listen, I'm a BSV supporter. You're BTC. Do you want to come and have a poke? And I'll have a chat back as to why I'm supporting this technology. If it could be nice, bruv, I'm telling you.
Mate, set it up. I'm up for it.
No, you set it up, bruv.
I'm not going to set up.
I'm quite busy, bruv, but I'm just saying, I think that would be entertaining. Your viewers, if you sit in a circle,
mate, come on in and join the fun.
The thing is, yeah, circle jerk's only so big, isn't it? Whether they're fun or not, like a circle jerk's only ever going to be your circle jerk, But box office is usually where there's going to be a bit of carnage, a bit of a bit of opposing views or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not going to do that on my own. If you want a bit of fun and carnage, we'll do it. We'll do it like we're doing now, where there's 3 people on there.
Mate, you can handle it. You don't need freeze a crowd. Two's company, freeze a crowd. I reckon you should go one-on-one with a BTC.
It's a show, mate. That's what we need. A show needs a crowd.
Mate, one-on-one with a BTC box office. Bitcoin box office, call it.
Mate, I've done it. I believe it or not, I've actually done it before. I've done it with some guy called What was the name of that Street Fighter guy who actually got into the UFC once? It's a big black guy, beard. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Bob Sapp.
No, it was another guy. He's actually a really funny bloke. I quite enjoyed hearing him talk. He used to do backyard fist fights, like bare knuckle.
Kimbo Slice.
That's the one. There's a guy who calls himself Kimbo Slive, who's a BTC supporter. I spoke to him. I spoke to that other bird. I can't remember what her name is now. She's called Rachel. Goes by the name of like Crypto Queen or Crypto Princess, whatever. Honestly, mate, the banter with them was so bad because they're literally talking absolute shite. They don't know what they're talking about. It's so painful.
Yeah, but honestly, see, this is where I think some of you go wrong, because in their heads, they also think that you don't know what you're talking about to the exact same level. Right? So you've got two people who, but I'm saying if the approach was slightly different, you could make for a slightly more interesting conversation. Yeah. Because it's got to get boring.
Well, it sounds like we need an intermediary like yourself.
So, mate, I'll just, if I'm in the wrong mood, I'll just go for both sides for the sake of it. Yeah, that's the problem with me, mate. I'm the wrong one. Yeah,
that's all right, mate. Entertainment, do you know what I mean?
And to be honest with you, Toshi, like I say, yeah, we're building on AI at the moment, so that's more of an interest for me, yeah, than Bitcoin, really. I'm just saying, if I was in this properly, and I was looking for numbers, I'd be looking at an angle like that, I reckon.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm saying. You know, it's kind of like I'm trying to get the knowledge out to those people who need to know about Aerospike and Terranode, you know, before it comes on the mainnet.
Can't you get the entertainment out to the people on the internet who want to be entertained?
Yeah, but that's just it. They don't want to hear the stuff I've got to say.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it, you know, look, I don't think you know, all I'm trying to say, Toshi, yeah, is with change of approach, you could have an entertaining show. And if you want numbers on the internet, in my opinion, an entertaining show is where it's at, obviously, going by Mr. Beast and people like that, you know. Well, especially if you've got the passion. There's no two ways about it. That's what my mate was saying before. Like, the passion's there. There's no two ways about it. The passion's there. But you know, if you're going to go around schooling people, mate, whether you're right or wrong, anyone who does that will never get numbers because they don't know how to.
Yeah, but the numbers will come when number go up, mate.
Yeah, I know. I remember you said that 7 years ago as well. Yeah, but in that time, I've seen 20-year-olds come through, and in the space of 6 months, have massive careers on social media because I follow them.
Yeah, there is that.
No, I'm sorry, Toshi. I'm not discrediting you, mate, because everyone, whether you like it, you know, whether people, listeners like it or not, I know you put a good effort into it, and I think your thing looks very professional now as well, the way you've done it. Whether I agree with the blockchain or not, leave all that aside. I think it's very professional what you've done. Someone was saying the other day, like, you asked me questions right before, yeah. Someone said, Nick, ask him, like, even though everyone knows what he looks like and that, why doesn't he show his face?
Mate, there's no effing way I'm showing my face. No way. It's fucking dangerous out there. My God.
It's not dangerous out there.
It fucking is. There is no way. There is no way I'm showing my face out there. My God.
What do you mean it's dangerous out there?
Mate, what's wrong with my fox? It looks cool as fuck.
Well, no, I mean, look, again, I ain't got much of an opinion, but these days on the internet, you do tend to get people showing their faces on shows, don't you?
Yeah, but not on podcasts or radio shows, they still don't.
Yeah, but a lot of the podcasts are just recordings of things like Joe Rogan, who does it with the cameras and then sticks it on a podcast. A lot of them do it like that.
Yeah, but this is also, I mean, the way I speak on my show and do this is not who I am in real life. You know, I effectively am the character that is displayed.
Well, okay, there's your answer then to the person who was asking that.
Oh, there we go.
You know, so yeah, you know, I'm saying, Toshi, if you want, it depends. I mean, I thought social media was about numbers, basically. I think that's where that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, all these kids are doing well that are getting the big numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, if number doesn't go up in the price, then all of this will be a waste of time anyway, and it'll be massively embarrassing. You know, and if number does go up, well, the viewing figures will come with it.
Or you could have an entertaining show where you get people on and engage them, and everyone loves it, regardless of what your view on Bitcoin is. And YouTube sends you a £3,000 check through the post every week or whatever.
That'd be bloody great, mate. That'd be bloody great. How many viewers do I need for that?
I don't know, mate. I think to start with, to monetize, you need 5,000 watch hours in the last 3 months, as well as 1,000 subscribers to monetize. That's where you begin.
Right.
And then once you're there, obviously, the world's your oyster. And I think once you get to the millions, you're looking at nice checks coming through the post all the time. That's what I've been looking at anyway. But it takes time to build up, doesn't it? But I think the way it works, from my understanding at the moment with the algos, is first of all they reference your stuff. So after a while, they realize this guy's always talking about Bitcoin. We'll start referencing him and putting him amongst that sort of stuff. Then it's a case of when people do actually decide to press the button and watch his stuff, how long do they watch? If it's 10 seconds, if it's 20 seconds, they're shit. We won't continue to push this person out there. If people sit there and watch it because it's engaging, obviously we'll put him out there.
Yeah, but YouTube took 2 of my channels down in 2017 and I was only getting 500 views.
Yeah, but mate, that's because you're going on about stuff that they don't want people talking about because you're a BSV conspiracy theorist. Yeah.
I don't know. There wasn't really any justification. I was just talking about BSV.
Yeah, I know, but then you would have mentioned all that stuff you was going on about the other day, which I won't mention because I know it's bad for the numbers. But my business partner's done it a few times and he's ruined his own channels doing it.
Yeah, but this is 2017. That was before all that BS.
No, mate. They're all there's things that they do and don't want people to say, basically. Yeah. But if something's engaging, they will push it. You know what I mean? Is what I'm saying. They will push it if it's engaging. If people watch it, they'll go, right, listen, even though we play our cup of tea, let's get it out there because he's decent. Is what I'm saying, Toshi. So I think people would like a debate of some kind, whether even if you got drilled in the debate or if you won the debate, whatever, people would probably like it. But it can't be a schooling session, though, Toshi. A schooling session won't work because it's unengaging, it's disrespectful. You got to give people the opportunity to talk and explain themselves as well, and they should give that back to you as well. That's if it could work like that, like kind of like how we do it. Like I've come on the other day slating BSV a lot, and we had a laugh about it, but you was in agreement of some of what I said and in disagreement of some of what I said, and vice versa, right? Some of the stuff you said I disagree with, like today we've had slight disagreements about who is Craig, is he Satoshi, whatever. It's fine, it's not a problem, but it's interesting for people. But if it's the same thing all the time where someone's listening and going, oh, I know what he's going to say next now. He's going to tell me Craig is Satoshi. He's going to tell me about the tip. Then you're going to end up in circle jerk numbers, I think. And that's what CoinGeek have ended up doing. This whole thing I was starting, Toshi, was about them really when we were talking about their media. Because if you're a news source like that, I don't understand why you'd want a circle jerk if you're actually a news source like that and you're that big. Like, I understand if you've got passion for it and you only want to speak to a certain amount of people. I understand that more than a professional news source saying, listen, we're blocking all of these people. Why would you do that? Like, if you wanted to engage people like us and people that were in BTC, they actually share BSV stuff more than what I would say BSV people share it. More, I'd say the most engagement on X definitely comes with BTC people sharing the BSV stuff and mocking it and laughing at it than it does from BSV people sharing it out, because BSV people are busy on things like My 2 Cents talking about Pythagoras, thinking that a load of 14, 15-year-olds from TikTok are going to join them. No, they ain't.
I'd forgotten about that website. I might have to check it out again.
Well, you go there, mate, but you won't find any young, cool people on there at all, and that's what the social media experience seems to be all about culturally at the moment. Not these old dickheads talking about Pythagoras and showing fucking pictures of dinosaurs or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's but they're delusional in my opinion. The real social media is out there on something like X where people are talking, and then if you can get big on something like it, you can definitely have an influence wholeheartedly. Do you know what I mean? But then if you've got Craig Wright at the top of the chain and he's saying things like social media is rubbish, don't go on it, go study history instead. Well, I'd love to hear him say that to the locals round where I live, mate, where we grew up. They would probably just start throwing stones at him and say, shut up, you dickhead. What are you talking about, fam? They'd probably say. So and I'm not saying whether he's right or wrong there. Personally, I think he's culturally got the world completely wrong there. If he thinks little kids are going to put down TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat and pick up Plato Toshi, that's farcical in my opinion. That for me is pure, actually stupidity in terms of how the modern world is working. Yeah, some might argue no, actually he's just demonstrating his passion towards education. No, for me that's demonstrating the complete and utter lack of social media culture, which is well important in this day and age. And if you look at BTC, mate, just flying out there, Toshi.
Yeah, but it's only going up there because of Tether. I mean, what if BSV starts motoring because of genuine utility, like for example the use of Aerospike, and then suddenly the opinion of Craig changes. Suddenly Craig is Satoshi Nakamoto and he's the coolest man on the fucking planet. I've seen it happen, mate. I've seen it happen.
I mean, I don't. Craig has said all along he doesn't want to be liked, and he said before he doesn't believe in all these little groups and all this sort of stuff because he's a nut job. Yeah, he will be the first person to admit that he's a bell end. He's the first one to admit that he's a bell end, Toshi. I've heard you won't like me. I've heard him say stuff like that, so he knows he's a bell end, and I respect him for that. You know, there's a lot of you guys who don't think he is a bell end, but he knows he's a bell end. I don't think he wants to be the coolest guy on the planet. To me, he just looks like he wants to fucking ruck with anyone who's not studying history. You know, like he does not get like how the modern world is working on social media, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm some expert on these things, Toshi, but I think off the bat, if you've got someone like that who is technically the leader of your blockchain and top of the chain, and they're saying such things about social media, that's well bad, because in the time that he's been saying stuff like that, BTC are massive all over social media, including TikTok.
Yeah, but the only reason BTC is up is because it's pumped by Tether. That is it.
You keep saying that. You keep going back to that, which is fair enough. But it's a totally different conversation. I'm talking about their brand, mate, is massive on social media.
Yeah, but they stole it. They stole BTC.
I know you feel that way, right? I know you feel that way, but that doesn't take away from the fact that their brand is massive and it's running away with the victory. You know, and it's getting further and further away.
For now, mate.
We look at people like Natalie Brunell, like, and how big she is. Look at people like that Crypto Rover, how big he is for being influential.
Mate, the bigger they come, the harder they fall.
It's true, but then, like we said the other day, there's going to be a time scale on that, isn't it? There's going to be a time scale on that. Is it in your lifetime, or is it, like Craig said, 20 to 25 years' time? I think one of the things, if he's going to do it, it could easily take 20 to 25 years for the BSV price to nick up a little bit. I do believe him on that. And also, it's not about the price, is it? It's not about the number going up in Kentucky, according to Craig. Well, it is when it suits him, and then, you know.
Well, it's about miners being able to economically sustain themselves through the block fee.
To you, it is, yeah, but to people on the internet, it's about number going up and getting Lamborghinis, isn't it? To the vast majority.
Well, Craig said number go up was the final motivation for him. He's just like, you know, if you scale the network, if you make it bigger, he said his main motivation, you know, more than, well, his main, what's the word he used? Well, I think he's used his main motivation, you know, more than anything anyone could ever pay him is the price of Bitcoin goes up, and he said that's my pure drive.
Well, then he'll say the next week it's not about number up, is, you know. I can't help but feel sorry for people that have listened to him and lost their life savings, basically. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. There are people who are in that situation, and it's bad, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is shit. You know, but we can't. Well, it's a bit like if somebody's in your house and they're ruining it, and they've stripped it out and they've stolen your bathroom and your kitchen and everything like that, and you go to court and just like, look, they've ruined my house. The judge will just be like, look, you know, they're still under contract, and the contract says they have to return the property in the same condition that they entered it in. So until that time finishes and the contract is up, there's nothing we can do. So I guess it's going to be like, well, until Terranode comes on, you know, and the network is doing 1 million transactions per second, then we can't really judge. Or if it doesn't even achieve that, you know, but it looks like it's doing it because they're building it. They're spending like, was it $2 million a week or $2 million a month on Terranode right now on a development of it. I mean, it's not a small project.
And when's it going to be complete and ready, do you think?
Well, they reckon Q4 this year.
Wow. We'll have to, and then you think BSV goes to the moon from there?
Well, we'll see, mate. I mean, yeah, I mean, I have to get my crystal ball out. Do you know what I mean? You're talking about the future here. I don't know until we get there.
We'll see, won't we? We'll see, Toshi, man. We'll see.
We will, yeah, mate. As we've been going for 1 hour 15, it's probably a good time to wrap it up. I've quite enjoyed this again, and much appreciated, mate.
No, thank you to you, Toshi, as well, mate. And may all the listeners of this show from me be fruitful and get money.
Yeah.
One way, shape, or form. You know what
mate,
I'm saying?
May all these listeners listen more.
Yeah. And, share this out with you. Yeah, people. Share this out. And if you want us to bring some carnage, let us know as well what you want. And we might do a one-off a week or something. You know, we've got a bit in the tank, Toshi, haven't we? If we want to have a little laugh and stuff, haven't we? We've got a bit in the tank if anyone wants anything in particular.
Yeah, mate.
You know? So let us know, people. Well, thank you, Toshi. Enjoyed myself.
Mate, it's been a pleasure. We shall leave it there and I'll stop the show. And as ever, to everybody, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one from Toshi and Tramp. Catch you laters.